Hey everybody, Fire Mama here, and I got a lot going on today. My pear tree did an enormous job this year, and I got a lot of pears going on. I just have a few up here that I'm working on right now. But as I was working on them, I realized I should probably be making a video to show you a couple things that I'm going to be doing with them. First of all, I want to apologize real quick for the angle and the kind of the distance of the camera, but I kind of wanted to make sure you could see everything I'm doing, and I think some of my head's cut off, but this video is not really about seeing me, it's about seeing what I'm doing here. But anyway, I think I got about 30 pounds of pears off my tree, which is just a couple years old, and it is a Bartlett, so they make excellent. We've been kind of babying it along. Last year it didn't do very good. I lost more to the ground than I did because I just didn't get out there in time to get them picked. But this year I was ahead of schedule. But one of the things I wanted to try this year with them is dehydrating them. So, and which I've never dehydrated my pears. I always just canned them up in a light syrup, and so I'll do some of that, but I wanted to get the ones dehydrating first. But let me get around here so I can show you what some of mine kind of look like. This year they're kind of uneven and funny shaped, so it's taking me a little bit of time to get those peeled up right. But they'll get there. They'll form their perfect shape. But so I just started peeling, and then just chunking what I can. Now over here I've got some already done, and I have to keep them from getting too brown and too soft too quick on me before I can get them on the dehydrator. I put them in a little water and lemon juice to the citric acid to help with that. But I'm just gonna I'll just show one here real quick. And yes, my hands are clean. Everything's clean, as always. But I'll try to get this one up here so you can see a little better. They're kind of in chunks. And, because I've never done this before, I got my drying book out that I have, so I know how to dry different things. It says to do slices. Well, some of mine aren't going to exactly be beautiful slices, but that's okay because this is just an experimental thing for right now. But I'm sure they'll taste good. But I'm just going to put them in my dehydrator, and for the first 2 or 3 hours it'll be at 160 degrees. And then I'll turn it back down to 140, I believe it says. It's either 135 or 140. I'll be sure to correct that when I do edit this video. But the other thing I wanted to show you that I'm going to be doing, let me put my towel back over this just to keep everything out of it. Let me scoot this dehydrator over so I can get right here so I can show you. I've taken my pear cores and peels, and not the ones that are, got bad spots on them or anything, or I had, some of those. But I put them in a gallon jar, and I'm going to make some pear vinegar. Now, in one of my other videos that I posted before, I had referenced making my blackberry blueberry vinegar that I'd made. Well, those were some videos that I had recorded when I first started my channel, but because of the camera that I was using, it wasn't compatible with the laptop I was using, so I didn't get to share those with you. So I had one of my followers, and I love you all, thank you for subscribing, ask me how I made the blueberry blackberry vinegar. So I wanted to show how to do with the pear, and doing it with the pear is the same with any other fruit. So for the pear, I'm going to add sugar, but I'm not going to add as much as I would if I was making a herbal vinegar or a floral vinegar with different flowers and maybe even herbs, which I have made those in the past. So I'm just going to show you real quick. You just, whatever you're wanting to make a vinegar with, and some sugar and filtered water or distilled water. You know, you don't want to use the chlorinated water that comes out of the tap because that's not good for it. So I've got quite a few in here. And yes, they're starting to turn, but that'll be okay. So I am just going to add, and I'm going to do this the quick way. I'm probably just going to go ahead and add a whole cup. That way, later on during the process, I don't have to add any more, because it's going to start feeding and making its yeast, and it's going to feed off the sugars that's in there, and then it'll go through the stage of it'll smell like alcohol. The first week or so, I do like to stir mine maybe just a couple times a week, just so in case anything floats up to the top, it gets pushed down to the bottom, because you don't want mold on top. So I've got here it's just a smidgen over a cup, but I'm going to put that in there. And I actually did forget a spoon to stir with, but I'm going to go ahead and just use my filtered water. And fill that all the way up. So I gotta grab a spoon, excuse me. And I just want to push that down and work that in there and get as much of that sugar mixed up as I can, just so it's good and dissolved. And then plus that way you fill in, you know, any air bubbles you might have in your pills. Now this is also another way, and this is more kind of a advanced preparedness. But you can do the dehydrating thing. You know, if you find someone with pears at a farmer's market, or know someone that has a pear tree and they don't do anything with them, by all means, ask them if you can pick their pears. And you can can them up just in your ball blue book. You can pick from either a light, a medium, or a heavy syrup. Just all depends on what you prefer. And can them up so you have them on the shelf. Put them in the dehydrator. You know, let them dry. You have a nice little snack. The taste test on mine will be from the Grand Littles, you know, whether they like them or not, or if I do this again next year, you know, if they like them, I'll make more. And there's, you know, when you dehydrate them, there's quite a lot of things you can do with them too. But, you know, you can break them up and put them in pancakes, or make pear muffins, or just things like that, or, you know, put them in a cake just to give it a little extra flavor. So I've got this all mixed up, and so when you're making your vinegars, you know, your vinegars can also be used to make your herbal infusions for your different medicines and things that you use. Or, you know, they can also be used, and I don't know if I would use just the straight pear for vinegars for a hair wash. I don't know if I would use a straight pear, but we'll see. I've never done a pear vinegar. It may be great. But so anyway, but this is just another way you can make these up. So in your advanced preparedness, when you want to, you know, start making your own medicines and infusions and such. And like I said, it can be done with any fruits, a combination of fruits and herbs, or fruits and flowers, or herbs and flowers, just whatever you can think of. And I'll try to do a couple more videos on how to do this. So anyway, we're going to get one. I got all my other cheesecloths covering my bread starter that's working today. But anyway, you're just going to put a cloth over that, and I like to use a rubber band to put around it just to keep the cloth from getting knocked off and all the other stuff that I'm doing. But anyway, like I say, you're going to let this go, and I like to stir it maybe once or twice a week just to make sure everything stays underneath the water, and then just watch it. You can listen to it. It's a living thing. It's going to start feeding. It's going to start eating up on those sugars, and just let it sit on the counter, and then it'll go through the alcohol stage. Then just let it keep going some more, and just if it stops, don't add any more sugar. If it stops, just let it go. Then after a couple weeks, it's going to start getting that acidity, and you won't hear it bubbling and fizzing and stuff anymore. It'll start taking on that vinegar smell, and everybody knows what vinegar smells like. And then once it gets to that stage, and that is usually roughly a month. That's going to depend on the temperature in your house too. So you know, if sometimes it's like a meat locker in here and the rest of the family's freezing to death, it won't work as fast. But just be vigilant, keep trying. If you don't have to start with a great big jar like I do. If you want to start with a small pint jar just to try it and see if you can do it, by all means do it. I mean, shoot, the worst that's going to happen is, you know, you're going to dump it down the drain and, you know, throw the peels out. You didn't waste that much, but at least you got the good part of the pear too that you already did something with to put on the shelf. So I'm going to stop right there and not take up too much of your time. If you have any questions, please ask them down below. You know, I am so happy to help, and I want to teach. And I'm, like I said before, I'm always still learning. So I want to teach what I've learned and what I've done to do things. But that's just what I wanted to share with you. So working on pears, and I'm trying something new with the dehydrating. So if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, think about it and please do subscribe. I would absolutely love it. So right now, I hope everyone has a blessed day. And this is Fire Mama, out.